Jae-hak asked his brother-in-law what to do next. Min-soo said he had decisively broken up with Yin-young. Jae-hak advised him not to rush into a decision, thinking perhaps things weren't that bad. Min-soo told him not to overthink it, saying the breakup wasn't entirely because of his brother-in-law. Jae-hak said he would help salvage the situation, but Min-soo urged him to think carefully too. Jae-hak couldn't argue with his brother-in-law. Min-soo said he didn't want to see Jae-hak for a while and asked him not to contact him to avoid awkwardness. Eun-young asked her mother if she was very disappointed in her. Her mother said she was more worried than disappointed, worried about how Eun-young would live in the days to come. Eun-jin could only shamefully apologize to her mother for making her sad. Her mother told her that her sister's boyfriend was a very good and reliable young man. Although his financial situation was average, he gave off a very honest feeling and was mature for his age. Eun-jin asked her mother for Min-soo's phone number. She knew how much her sister liked this man and didn't want to ruin her sister's lifelong happiness because of what she had done. After seeing her eldest daughter, the mother went to find her youngest. She told Eun-young that her sister truly didn't know Min-soo beforehand, so she shouldn't misunderstand. She urged her not to misunderstand her sister anymore. Eun-young couldn't understand why her mother was acting this way, still defending her sister even now. Her mother told her to agree to break up with Min-soo, saying that as an excellent bank employee, she could find a better boyfriend anywhere. But Eun-young said she only liked Min-soo and felt like she had stepped in excrement because of her sister. Saying this, she drank a glass of wine in one gulp. Eun-jin gathered all her courage to call Min-soo and asked to meet to talk clearly. She told him she didn't oppose him being with her sister and urged him not to worry too much about the past. But Min-soo said he had decided to break up. Eun-jin didn't want two people who truly loved each other to break up because of her actions. Min-soo said he wouldn't change his decision, but when she walked out the door, she saw Min-soo still waiting there to talk to her. He said he had something to confess right then. He admitted, "I was the one who caused the hit-and-run accident." Eun-jin couldn't believe her ears. He said because of this, he couldn't be with Eun-young even more. He apologized for his past actions, leaving Eun-jin in shock as she processed the news. Min-soo told Mi-kyung he had met Eun-jin. Mi-kyung, knowing her brother well, guessed immediately that he had told her about the accident. Min-soo said he should take responsibility. Mi-kyung felt helpless because her brother was too honest and foolish. She felt it was originally that woman's fault. If she knew, her family would surely find out the truth too. She didn't want others to misunderstand her brother as a bad person. Min-soo said he felt relieved after confessing. Eun-jin returned home to find her husband waiting downstairs. She was surprised to see him waiting in the cold. He said he was worried because she had been gone for a long time. Eun-jin said she had met her sister's boyfriend. Sun-soo was exasperated, asking what good meeting him did. Eun-jin felt that if she just disappeared from this world, all the trouble would be solved. Hearing this, her husband nearly died of anger. He told his wife that love isn't just about two people living together. It involves many other things. Having been married for so many years, their backs were tied to the happiness of both families. Eun-jin knew her husband was right, but she felt she couldn't live like this anymore. She didn't want to make things difficult for everyone because of herself. She thought the best way was to disappear, but Sun-soo wouldn't agree to that, no matter what. Eun-jin said she was leaving for the sake of her loved ones, which included him. Sun-soo felt she was speaking nonsense. Eun-jin lamented that the only thing she wasn't at peace about was what would happen to their child when she left, but they didn't know their daughter had heard everything. Yoon-jung had overheard her parents' conversation and knew the reason for the Cold War between them. The sensible girl could only hide in her room and cry secretly. The mother-in-law angrily scolded her daughter-in-law for being heartless, asking how she could let her son handle the discharge procedures alone. Mi-kyung seriously told her she had to change and get used to life without her. The mother-in-law asked in surprise if she really wanted a divorce. Mi-kyung said she would find a caregiver for her, but the mother-in-law felt a caregiver was an outsider and said she was used to having Mi-kyung by her side. Mi-kyung saw her husband and mother-in-law off, but the mother-in-law ordered the driver to turn back immediately, which surprised Jae-ha. She told her daughter-in-law to get in the car and come home with her, then ordered her son to get out and drive for the two of them. This put Mi-kyung in an awkward, passive position. Watching her son and daughter-in-law sit silently in front of her, the mother-in-law sighed, saying she had been thinking a lot lately. She said she had never interfered in the couple's affairs before, but this time, she could no longer sit idly by without worrying. Her intervention left the couple feeling deeply confused and ashamed. She asked if they really thought they would find a new life after divorcing, asking, "Will doing this truly make you you happy, my children." Facing the criticism of the family elder, neither dared to utter a word in rebuttal. She insisted that they needed to change themselves first. She threatened that if they were determined to divorce no matter what, she would summon the children back from abroad immediately. Hearing this, Mi-kyung was extremely worried for her children. The mother-in-law was confident her plan would work. Jae-hak remarked that with her being kept at the house like this, he was actually glad she couldn't leave. However, Mi-kyung demanded he sleep in the separate study. She argued that since they were divorcing soon anyway, and his mother knew the truth, there was no need to put on an exhausting act of affection. Jae-hak felt helpless against the situation and his wife's coldness. Depressed, he sat there drinking alone to drown his sorrows. He invited his wife to have a drink to warm up, but Mi-kyung flatly refused. He asked, "Why do you hate me so much, Mi-kyung? Even if the whole world turns its back on me, you shouldn't treat me this way." Mi-kyung knew he was dead drunk. Seeing him like this, she felt heartbroken and pitiful. She wanted to comfort him but restrained herself, helping her drunk husband back to the study to rest. But the man held her back, begging her not to leave and to stay with him. Mi-kyung said she didn't know why she was like this, but she no longer had any feelings for him. Saying this, she pushed his hand away and turned to leave. Although Mi-kyung was heartbroken, she still left, determined to end this emotional tie. Jae-hak woke up feeling thirsty and dry. Returning to the bedroom, he didn't see his wife anywhere. He hurriedly went to Mi-kyung's apartment to find her. He angrily asked what she meant by this, disappearing suddenly in the middle of the night. Mi-kyung said she felt suffocated in that house. She promised to return tomorrow before his mother woke up to cook breakfast as usual. Jae-hak said he was very worried about her, noting that she used to be such a mature woman. Mi-kyung replied that people change over time, adding, "If you hadn't done such a thing, it would have been fine." Jae-hak was silenced by her reproach. Mi-kyung regretted her actions. She thought if she had known it would be like this, she shouldn't have hired someone to investigate him, only to hurt herself. Knowing too much just made life more exhausting. Jae-hak kept apologizing for all his mistakes, but Mi-kyung said her eyes could no longer tolerate the filth. The daughter, Yoon-jung, seriously asked her father, Sung-soo, a question. She asked if he was preparing to divorce her mother. Surprised, the father didn't know how his daughter knew. He hurriedly lied to comfort her, saying her parents would never separate and told her not to think too much about it. Sung-soo told Eun-jin that their daughter seemed to know, likely having overheard their earlier conversation. He noticed the child seemed very insecure and afraid. This made Eun-jin very worried about her daughter. She went to her daughter's room to check on her, but the girl seemed to want to ignore her. She asked her daughter why she was acting this way toward her. The girl said she didn't know either, but seeing her mother made her want to cry. Eun-jin heartbrokenly hugged her child and apologized. The daughter didn't understand why her mother wanted to divorce her father. She pointed out that her father wasn't drinking anymore and came home on time every day after work. Eun-jin apologized for making her feel insecure. The daughter said she liked her mother best in the world, but she also liked her father very much and didn't want to choose between them. Eun-jin comforted her, saying she also liked her father, but the girl didn't understand why they fought if they liked each other. Eun-jin could only say it was adult communication and told her daughter not to mind what she heard. Last night, Sung-soo called his mother-in-law to talk. His mother-in-law said that what must happen cannot be avoided. The parents-in-law assumed their son-in-law was coming to discuss a definitive divorce, thinking their daughter had made a huge mistake after all. They sat waiting for his final decision. Sung-soo apologized to his mother-in-law sincerely. This made her very ashamed of her daughter. Sung-soo said he had promised to bring happiness to Eun-jin, but he hadn't expected it to turn out like this. His father-in-law said, "We accept that things have reached this point. We have nothing more to say, son." But Sung-soo told them he wanted something different. He wanted to start over with Eun-jin from the beginning. Hearing this, his mother-in-law couldn't believe her ears. She excitedly grabbed her son-in-law and thanked him ceaselessly. His father-in-law asked if he had thought it through carefully. Sung-soo seriously said he had, not wanting to regret it later or let his child be sad because of her parents. Mi-kyung went to her mother-in-law's room to visit her. The mother-in-law smugly asked how it felt to be back home, asking if it was comfortable. Mi-kyung told her she had a lunch appointment with someone else, so she wouldn't eat at home. The mother-in-law immediately felt bored and disappointed. Hearing Mi-kyung say she would invite someone over to cook delicious food, she started smiling with satisfaction again. Gluttony was her only cute flaw. She asked Mi-kyung when her brother would get married. Mi-kyung said the situation was a bit complicated, so it wasn't certain yet. The mother-in-law bluntly said that if it was complicated before marriage, maybe it was better not to marry. Mi-kyung felt a headache just thinking about her brother's situation. Suddenly, Eun-young knelt before her boyfriend's sister to apologize. She apologized for her sister's wrongdoings. Mi-kyung told her to keep matters separate, knowing Eun-young truly liked her brother Min-soo. Eun-young said that if Mi-kyung agreed to let them marry, she would try her best not to make things becomes awkward for everyone after the wedding. Hearing this, Mi-kyung felt somewhat reassured, but her boyfriend Min-soo still wouldn't answer his phone. Seeing her like this, Mi-kyung found an excuse to call her brother over to talk. Eun-young cried, asking how he could break up so decisively. Min-soo hoped they could go outside to talk privately. Eun-young begged, "Can we not be like this? After all, it's not our fault." Min-soo seriously told her he had met her sister and confessed that he caused the car accident. Eun-young thought he was trying to make her give up by lying so she would hate him. Min-soo said he couldn't forgive himself for the terrible things he did in the past, but Eun-young said if it were her, she would have done the same to protect her sister. Min-soo told her to stop deceiving herself. He even admitted he had intended to kill Eun-jin at that time. Eun-young didn't want to hear these terrible things. Min-soo said he couldn't forgive himself and hoped Eun-young would stop here. Helpless, Eun-young nodded in agreement to break up. Min-soo told her to take good care of herself. The two lovers were separated just like that. But in the end, Eun-young couldn't control her emotions. She turned and ran back to Min-soo, hugging him tightly. She thought she would be content with even just one more second. But finally, her boyfriend let go of her hand. Perhaps the fate between them ended here. Eun-young cried heartbreakingly as she watched his back as he walked away. The father received a call from Eun-young's workplace, saying she hadn't come to work for days without reason. The parents decided to go to their daughter's place to check, but after ringing the bell for a long time with no answer, they had no choice but to go to their eldest daughter's house. Learning that her younger sister hadn't gone to work and wasn't at home, Eun-jin, as the older sister, was extremely worried. The thought of Min-soo confessing that he was the one who caused the car accident gave her an even bigger headache. She gathered all her courage to call Mi-kyung and asked to meet